Thank you, James. I look forward to that going into effect, so every morning when I'm driving Sound 71, I don't hit that big pothole. So thank you, James. Next, I'd like to introduce and invite Andy Sathy to the stage as our next introducer.
Hello. As we all know, healthcare in this country, the economic challenges posed by healthcare here and around the world are significant. The idea for Healthcast, who is about to come up and speak, was born from the notion that artificial intelligence could transform the way that we treat diseases in this country and around the world. The team at Healthcast, the technical capabilities of this team are significant. They've come to us from Europe, and they are exceptionally talented. Speaking on their behalf today is Dr. Glenn Lawyer. He has a background that is so impressive that I need to make sure that I get it right. Glenn studied artificial intelligence at Sweden's Royal Institute of Technology and went on to earn his PhD in applied artificial intelligence in a joint project between the University of Oslo and the Karolinska Institute. That is, for those of you that don't know, like me, they award the Nobel Prize in Medicine. Glenn then spent 7 years at the Max Planck Institute studying computational models of disease spread. His business, Healthcast, grew out of this research. So now here to share more is Glenn.
Thank you, Andy. Healthcast is building your map to better health. This is Julie. Julie's hit a bump on her health journey. She's been feeling really nauseous and really fatigued for the last 2 days. She doesn't think she has the flu because she doesn't have a fever. But the last time she felt this bad, it was pneumonia, and she went to the hospital. So she's worried, and she turns to her computer and sits there and starts typing symptoms into her search engine. As Julie quickly learns, there's some problems with this. That computer doesn't know who she is. It doesn't know her history. That computer doesn't know where she is. It doesn't know what diseases are active around her. Julie knows she doesn't have cancer. The computer doesn't. So at the end of the day, it leaves her more worried and more confused than when she started, and she pays $50 to go to the doctor. Now, thanks to my research background, it's really easy to see the solution to Julie's problem. It starts by knowing where you are. Healthcast makes it as simple as just clicking a few buttons on your mobile phone, or, with our voice integration, a quick conversation with Siri or Alexa. Our patented artificial intelligence goes to work behind the scenes, and then can analyze your symptoms, compare it to medical databases, and compare it to what's active around you to give you a realistic interpretation of what's going on. Even better, we can tell you where you're going, that the symptoms should be receding over the course of the next day or two, and actually, even though Julie feels like dying today, she's going to be in fine shape for her board meeting on Monday. Again, behind the scenes, what we're doing is taking the data from users, Julie, and people in her community, anonymizing it, aggregating it. This creates a community-level picture, which we can incorporate with structured and unstructured web data to create a unique and highly valuable data set. And the more our algorithms get to know Julie, the more we can do for her. Hey, Julie, there's a low-pressure front coming through tomorrow. Make sure you get enough rest tonight so it doesn't trigger your migraine. As a result of this, Julie can spend more time focusing on running her company and building her business, and less time being sick and being worried about being sick. The time is right for a company like Healthcast. 30% of US adults need a new clicker. 30% of US adults are using self-trackers. And as a matter of fact, the number of people using 3 or more digital tools to track their health has tripled in the last year. It was less than 20% in 2015. Now it's the majority of the population. Despite this growth, the market is still fragmented. You have your fitness trackers. You have your sleep trackers. You have your food and diet trackers. You have your smart thermometers that'll tell you your temperature. Of course, they won't tell you any other symptoms, but they got that one covered. What you need is a company like Healthcast who can make a complete picture, not just of you, but also of your community, bringing in that outside information and able to give you the relevant information that you need to make good decisions about your health. We make money on this in two ways. First is the individual market. 39% of US adults strongly agree to covering healthcare costs out of pocket, and the average spend per person is $1,036, which means our pro version, designed for families at $10 a year, less than what you're spending on coffee, is a real bargain. Basic access remains free because healthcare is a fundamental human right. And Healthcast takes this right and builds it into a virtuous circle. So your data contributes also to the health of your community, which opens up the second way that we can make money off of this. There's a lot of organizations dedicated to the health of the community who can find the aggregate anonymized data quite useful. So we've had several discussions with senior executives at a local consumer goods company. One of them suggested that this forecast could be quite helpful in advertising spend for certain products. Even more interesting is when you look at their supply chain and logistics. This becomes a game changer. Right now, Estonia is being ravaged by the flu. They didn't have good predictions, and they're out of Tamiflu. People are dying. We also have had discussions with senior executives at a regional hospital, and they see Healthcast as a way to really drive patient engagement. This is a tool that lets the hospital be with you at home, which is where most healthcare takes place. And even the real healthcare, keeping you healthy so you don't get sick in the first place, totally changes the way that we run healthcare in this country. Another possibility, over 80% of large companies in the US, companies with more than 500 employees, have a self-insurance care plan. That means the company's picking up the tab if you get sick. Now, with Healthcast, we can make sure that people are getting the appropriate care at the appropriate time, at the appropriate level. Naturally, this means that the employees are happier and healthier, and that is our end goal. But for the company who has to pay for these costs, making sure people get the right care at the right time leads to massive savings. It's going to take a lot of talent to pull this off, and I just feel so fortunate looking at the talent of the people who've joined this to get it off the ground. It's not just my research background. My two co-founders, Tarek and Tobias, both have master's degrees from Germany's best computer science institute. And our local team is even more impressive. We've got some of Cincinnati's top developers. We have nothing but honor students from Northern Kentucky University. As a matter of fact, we have people volunteering to join our team. We're talking other developers in the area. We're talking mathematical programmers from Germany, PhD students from Ohio. Design for Americas wants to work with us to help win the Smart Cincinnati Smart City Challenge coming up. It's amazing. We've also had a lot of good advice helping us put this together. Obviously, UpTech. But I want to point out a few names that aren't associated with UpTech that you might know about. And with full respect for their privacy, these include a senior vice president at the largest insurance company in the United States, global director of business development at one of the world's largest software companies, and the CEO of an identity management company. With power like this, we're moving fast. We have our MVP on the market, and we're getting ready to build in those voice integrations I was talking about, also the Fitbit and other device integrations, to make this a magical, seamless experience as part of your life and taking us across the United States. But we don't stop there. Our mission is to empower every person on this planet with the tools and information so they can responsibly manage their own health. And that global vision starts right here, right now, today, with us in this room. I invite you to join us and talk to us upstairs after the presentation. Thank you.